Whenever you're ready.
Oh my God.
Jessica! I've never been called a fox!
Dana.
That's a classy name for a Harry.
I like it classic.
Okay.
Do you?
Welcome to the Rants and Raves podcast.
Sure.
Out with the bad and in with the good, motherfuckers.
That's right.
Jessica.
Dana.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Welcome to the Rants and Raves podcast. I'm Dana Powell.
I'm Jessica Young.
And
We are here to
rant and rave. Oh, we both shouldered.
You look very nice. I don't.
I do?
I've been in my pajamas all day.
I had to go back to the doctor's office and give blood, for lab work.
A joy.
I drained a quart for everything under the sun because I missed my physical last year. And apparently, let's just jump right into it. So I went to
joy to give blood.
Oh, it wasn't for pleasure or for kindness by any means. It was, let's let the blood out of Dana and figure out everything wrong with her. So we'll just jump in because here's the thing, guys. Jessica and I have a rooftop date tonight.
Yeah.
And we don't have time to do a 4-hour green room dump like we usually do. So guess what, y'all? BTS behind the scenes. Here's the green room dump. Anyway, Jessica, I went and I gave a ton of blood. My son is extremely nervous about me getting old. He has been very worried all day saying, are you getting old? Yeah. Because he's dealt with old age and death a lot lately. So, but I had to fast, until then.
Yes.
So my doctor's appointment the other day was 5:00 and I was like, no, I'm not going all day without eating. I'm hungry. The earliest appointment I could get was either like sometime next week, which I wanted to get it done as quickly as possible, or 2 p.m. today, which today is Saturday. And so I tried to sleep in so that I would wake up a little bit late.
Sure.
And then get a couple of things done and rush over to give blood so I wouldn't be starved. And I did it fine. But I don't remember what I've said to y'all. I think we all know that like I've had some issues lately because I ran out of, you guys are probably sick of hearing it, but I ran out of my antidepressant while I was on my trip because my doctor was mad at me. Remember when she told me everybody's crying? I don't know what you want me to do and yelled at me. And so then I promised a listener, you know who you are, that I would get a new doctor and go. And I did it.
Bravo.
Thank you, lady. It is hard, especially it's if you haven't been to a doctor for years, or if you're switching. I wish I had some kind of clapper for you so you could see when to go. Anyway,
clap
off.
The clapper.
I remember those commercials so well. Anyway. So it's really hard to go to a new doctor or to go to a doctor when you haven't been in years.
Absolutely.
It's just hard. And Jessica, you've been an absolute inspiration. You've been going and doing it. And so has my dad. And I'm really proud of you guys. And now I'm proud of me because I did it.
And as you should.
And I'm telling you, we went over everything. She was like, is there anything else you need to tell me, about your family history or you or what? And I go, anything bad? This was early in the appointment. I go, anything bad? Because I got a lot to tell you. And she goes, all right, let's do this.
I love it.
So I just told her, so I got referrals for an endocrinologist, for a mammogram, everything, just get all caught up. Because I am usually pretty good about going for my yearly physicals. I feel so grateful. There have been times in my life I haven't had insurance and I haven't had that easily available to me. I appreciate it greatly. That's another reason, I have the same mentality around voting. People have fought and died for me to have that right. I better use it. Yes. If I've got medical insurance, there's a lot of my close personal friends who don't. Yep. I better freaking use it. And to be perfectly honest with y'all, I lost my insurance for the first time in probably 17 years, since I've gotten it. I am lucky enough to be married to a man who can cover me. And it sucks I've always been a pretty self-sufficient woman. It was a blow to my pride.
Sure.
But I'll be doggone if I'm not going to use that. So I did tell
Yeah.
her, I said, look, I'm not a doctor hopper and I don't run away from physicals, because that was the reason my doctor gave for not letting me get my medication
Mhm.
before I left town instead of waiting to come back and get an appointment. That's my long way of saying she got real mad at me because I told her she was unkind, and not blatantly like that, but I let her know that her behavior was,
Sure.
and she was making me pay penance, I guess. So I just left. So now I have a new doctor and I really love her.
Mhm.
She's she put it all out on the table. Like, here's the risks. Here's where you at. Here's where you were in 2019. Let's find out where you are in 2021. Uh, I told my
Wait,
other,
does that mean that she contacted the
she
former
saw it.
doctor and got your
No,
records?
she saw it in my records. It's at the same facility, so they have access. She can get,
Oh. Oh,
because
that's
it's so
great.
good.
That's
Yes, so
great.
she could see everything.
Perfect.
And, I told my other doctor when she said, "You have to come for a physical before you can get your antidepressant." I said, "I don't know what my physical necessarily has to do with me, like, my mental day to day, but I've never been a physical avoider. Um, I contacted you 3 times last year for a COVID test. You never mentioned me coming in for a physical, but said you couldn't see me for a COVID test. I didn't know we were all running out to get physicals, and that's why you were so busy."
Ah,
Anyway, so that's green room stuff that Jessica would have talked about, but now I said it on the show.
hilarious.
Go to your
Well, and we've
doctors.
talked about this before.
Go to your
The
doctor.
problem is go to your doctor, but the doctor should have said, "Hey, I'll give you enough to cover while you're gone or for a month or whatever, but
And
I'm
then
gonna
get
need you
in
to make an
here.
appointment."
In fact, she could have said, "Let's put a date on the calendar. I'll
Yes,
transfer you back to the front desk and they'll put a date on the calendar.
100%.
As soon as I get a message you made that appointment, I'll send in for just till that time." I
Uh-huh.
wouldn't have cared if she gave me 7 pills or some
I know.
random number just to get me through, because I
Yep.
literally said on the phone, I said, "I am not okay. I know it because I felt this in December when my husband had COVID and I
Right.
didn't ask anyone to help me.
Yep.
Dum dum." Right? So I
Yep.
knew what was happening, and I am not. In fact, when I introduced myself to my doctor yesterday, I said, she goes, "It looks like you've been crying." And I said, "I have. I'm not myself today. I should let you know that." And she goes,
Oh.
"Well, I can't wait to meet you because you seem lovely."
Okay, I love this doctor, and I don't
She's
even know
amazing.
her.
She was Dan Tipton's doctor, and he said, "Why don't you try her out?" He said,
Fantastic.
"She's blunt." And I go, "Oh, you mean she's gonna tell me I'm fat like I don't know already? Okay. I think I
Ah,
can handle it. I'm sure she's not gonna say it the way I say it to myself."
right.
So, anyway, it is really hard. If you have access or a need to
Mhm.
see a doctor, find a way, please. I know how hard it is.
Yes.
We will support you and high five you digitally
Totally.
all the way through it.
But I'm
Uh,
proud of you for real because that's huge growth, okay? It's a huge
but
thing to even
Jessica,
recognize you need help no matter what the help is for. But then we all go, "Yeah, I need it." And then we
yeah.
all usually get complacent or you get lazy or you get depressed again, so then you're not motivated to do it. La la la, the list is so long. The fact that you were like, "I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm going," is huge. It's
But
so huge.
I'm not joking. That's also because of you. I watched you doing it. I saw you doing it.
Oh,
And I was like, I can do this. I can push, even though I'm feeling, I felt, you, I've been talking about this doctor thing since December when it happened.
mhm,
It clearly stuck in my craw.
sure.
And when something like that happens, it's very easy to go, "I don't want to deal with her and I'm not going to deal with this." I've waited longer than I should have, obviously. Seeing you and my dad both just push through, and when you don't get the answers, you both just ask and you're your own advocates and you keep pushing. It's the only reason my dad's alive today,
Yep, I
you know.
wasn't always like that, but
Well,
I have become that way.
you should be proud of yourself, Jessica.
Thank you.
Yes, I have witnessed it and you should be very proud.
Oh, thank you.
I mean,
You're
I
making
don't
me
know.
blush.
I hope so. Is that a good thing? I hope it feels good.
Sure. Well,
Um,
this is very timely because I was flipping through the stations the other night. Cedric the Entertainer has a show. It may even
yeah,
be called Cedric.
it
Is
could
it?
be. I think he's had several
I think
Cedric
it
shows.
is. But he has a show and it has the guy, what is his name? I'm embarrassed because I got to amazingly work with him once. Schmidt from New Girl.
Oh, yes.
Max. Uh
Yeah, I'm so bad with names.
I was just talking about this guy the other day. Okay, I'm
Also, I
mortified.
auditioned for New Girl so many times that I've kind of tried to erase it from my brain. Even though our friend Jake is amazing on there.
I
Let's make
I didn't
that
get to work
clear.
with him, but I got to see him that day and
Yeah,
it
I
was
love Jake
fantastic.
Johnson.
I
I
loved
got
it.
to see him while I was giving birth and then said, "Can we turn off the TV? That's my friend and I don't want to watch him while I push a baby out."
Scream.
Anyway,
Oh my
sidebar.
god. So they're on a sitcom together
Mhm.
and Cedric has to go for his physical, and the doctor's like, and he's like kind of nervous about his physical, and the doctor's like, well, everything's all clear. He's like, great, I knew it. And, he leaves. He's like, see, I knew what I was talking about to like his friend or his wife or whatever. And then the
Right.
doctor's like, whoa, we're not done yet. He's like, you're at the age now. He goes, it's mandatory that you have a colonoscopy.
Colonoscopy. Mhm.
So the whole gist of the episode was him avoiding it, and he
Yeah.
refuses to book an appointment with the doctor.
Mhm.
And somehow the wife gets wind of it, or I don't know if the doctor called the whatever, but he comes home and acts like everything's fine. And she's like, you're lying, and I've already booked the appointment.
Amazing. That happened to me once when I went many years without a lady appointment. It was before
Mm-hmm.
I had Henry and I had gone a
Mm-hmm.
long time. And Dan Tipton was like, "Okay, just letting you know, Tuesday at 12:15 you have a pap smear appointment." I was like, "What?" He's
That's
like,
amazing. And
in
that's
his
out of
heart, he
love.
was like, "I want babies. You better be healthy down there." But
Uh,
it is too like there are things that can go wrong for a lady that are deadly, and it's
yes.
it's good to know, to keep up on that. I think that's, I mean, is it an invasion of privacy? I don't think so when you're married. Is it?
Right.
Would you be mad if
Uh,
Alan made appointments for you?
No, especially not when it was for diagnostic or preventative, and
Yeah,
especially if, well, to be honest, whether there's issues already existing or not, this is part of the problem. There are look, we all have a better chance of living long and living well if we do certain things to take care of ourselves, right?
correct. Yes.
But I think every single person has known at least one, if not many people who are very healthy that then drop dead. They have an aneurysm. They had a pre-existing heart
Totally.
condition that no one ever knew
Nobody
about.
knew about. Mhm.
Non-hereditary things, or things could be hereditary and then they don't manifest until you're in your 60s, whatever.
Well,
So
and
no, I think it's
was it you telling me too that like, or maybe I heard this on a podcast. I know you and I have been discussing this, so I can't
mhm.
remember. I'm also not myself today, so
uh,
but, they say that actually women with heart issues, it's
mm,
frequently overlooked or not even looked for
yep,
because they're worried about other things that are
sure,
female related, and they don't think that there's as big a chance or risk. So,
exactly,
a lot more women have died from heart complications that maybe could have been prevented early on because no
absolutely,
one ever looked.
yep,
That was something my doctor said. She was like, "That's another appointment I have. I
yep,
have to get my heart checked because my dad has heart problems.
same,
Two valve replacements. My kidney function is constantly checked because my mom died of kidney disease or
mhm,
complications from it."
right,
So, but I think you're right, Jessica. Like so many things, if it's not hereditary, can pop up and still kill you if you're not on top
yes.
of your health.
Things can change. I mean, my health changed drastically almost 2 years ago, and trust me, there wasn't really many indicators.
Right.
And then I had a real close call, and that was my
Yeah.
wake up call for real.
Yes,
Like, that
I
was, I
know.
took it as, okay, this is my second
That
chance.
too. Yep.
But I know I've been scared to go because I'm scared to find out something's wrong. I think that's probably the number one factor,
Yeah.
which of course it's like what the irony is, like, you can't find out what's wrong unless you get
Unless you
tested,
go.
right?
And
And that was a big part of the show.
the sooner you find out, the easier it is to either
Early
slow
detection if
down or
yep.
stop or I know, you're so right. And it is such a dumb argument you have with yourself because as
Yes.
grown ass adults, we know this.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm telling you right now, I got all this blood work done today and, I'll get the results soon and it's literally everything. And I guarantee you, a lot of those numbers and stuff are going to be way different than they were in 2019.
Yeah,
And that's something I want to remind people too. Like, just life is hard on your body.
of
And we've
course.
all been experiencing a lot of life. And the
Yep.
definition of life for me right now is like a lot of hard shit.
Yes.
I think life is so beautiful and it's so hard. We can't forget that.
It it's as joyful as it is painful,
It is.
right?
It really is.
And the
And
poignant moments in between the 2 when they
it's,
intersect.
yeah. And you just don't think about it that much when you're young. I think I told you this. We just took a trip back home to Missouri and
Mhm,
visited with Dan's parents as well as helped my father after knee replacement surgery. But one of the things that hit me, he was having to deal with in front of his face his parents' declining health.
mhm,
And I don't want him to be a part of that club,
mhm.
but
Right.
he is right now. And I've been through it. So I think and I hope that I've been a good person to help support him through this. It's certainly far from over. But
Sure.
the thing that hit me this trip was, oh God, everything that's happening right now is hereditary.
Yeah.
What if this happens to my Dan Tipton? And that never crossed my mind before then.
Mhm.
I've been with this man, if you include dating, over 20 years, and
I yes, you include dating since the day you met.
it's never crossed my mind
Yeah.
that any of those things would touch my life
Mhm.
through him, that he
Yep.
would be ill. And listen, we just don't know. You
Right.
don't know. And that's why we've gotta try and be on top of it. I feel like
Mhm.
I hope we're not sounding, like, preachy, like, "Get on to the doctor,"
Well,
'cause
I
it
am preaching.
I know it's also not easy for everyone. That's the
Yes.
thing too. Like, there are times, Jessica, you've told me stories about your appointments that I wanted to go and lay out your doctor
Yes.
for the way they spoke to you
Yes.
and the non-answer giving and the all
Correct.
the things.
Apparently, I ask too many questions. Well, if you could just let things be known off the top,
Well,
I
and
wouldn't have
also
50 questions.
you didn't have 50 questions.
I
That's the
had like
thing that
1 or 2.
you had, like, I think one time you said, "I asked this, this, and this," and I was like, "Okay," like, waiting for the oth and that was it. I was like, "That's not an exorbitant amount of
No,
questions." I
it's
mean,
not.
literally, you could be like, "What time's my next appointment, and do you have a bathroom?" and be 3/4 of the way to where you were asking medical questions.
I know.
Anyway, pat on your back, Jessica, for doing so well and inspiring me to go get my stuff done too.
I'm very glad to hear it.
Yeah. We'll see how this
Onward
all
and upward.
shakes out, right?
Yes, and no matter what, for real, it's like, yes, we don't always hear what we want to hear,
Yeah.
but when you hear it, then it's like, okay, do the best with whatever that thing is, right?
Yeah,
To try to do what you can to make things better or to slow their progression.
absolutely.
Also, it may not be the things you think. So just go take a peek. You're going to be
Yes.
fine no matter what.
We're rooting for you. And especially, you know who you are that I talk to on private DMs.
Oh.
I said I was gonna do it, and then now you have to follow suit. Only because I love you.
Ah, I love that.
Yeah,
I think that's important.
that's another thing.
Accountability is great.
Absolutely, it helps, right?
Mhm.
So, if you want us to hound you about going to the doctor, Jessica, how can they get a hold of us?
You can message us on Facebook or Instagram. Instagram, I said, always just seems to be our preferred method
It is
that
these
our
days.
listeners contact us. Yes, it is the easiest, right?
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
instant. Facebook now, I'm telling you, we always get your messages, but sometimes it's weird and we don't see them right away. And you can't open Facebook messages from your phone, which is what most of us live on, right?
Well, and
And
also I haven't checked Facebook. I checked once in August and once in December.
oh,
I
you
think
haven't been on it. Yes.
no.
And literally all year. So I just don't ever send you anything there.
Yeah.
Um, on Facebook and Instagram, you can find us at the Rants and Raves podcast. On
Mhm.
Twitter at raves_the. You can email us at the Rants and Raves podcast at gmail.com. Yes, all of this is case sensitive. The Rants and Raves podcast at gmail.com. Or you can go to our contact button on the website, www.therantsandravespodcast.com.
Woo!
Yes. Thank
Just
you.
thank you. Jessica, how are you?
I am just dandy, Dana. I'm probably going to end up leaving a really is terse an angry word. I don't know
Uh-huh.
why that just came
First,
to
mhm.
mind.
Yeah.
Letter for my neighbor. There I can hear it now again through my headphones. Hopefully it
Oh,
doesn't pick up on the
I don't
recording.
hear it. Uh-uh.
Okay, good. Because there have been landscapers. I wish I was exaggerating. It is 4:38 our time, Pacific
Uh-huh.
Standard Time. They started with the chainsaws at 8:30 this morning, and I swear to God have not stopped since.
Oh no.
And these neighbors wait, and once a year, they have people come to trim their trees that they don't take care of and their bougainvillea, which is like the rats of Nim on steroids.
Oh God.
Okay. There is a truck parked in front of my apartment right now, and the entire it's one of those big, like like a pickup truck, but with the built up sides.
Yes, yes.
They keep having two guys jump on it. It's like it ain't going down anymore. There's
Wow.
only so much you can compress something, fool.
Does their gardener not keep it trimmed during the year?
I guess not. And by
Good Lord.
gardener, if you mean the man who just mows their grass, I guess not.
Wow.
So I'm not kidding you. I hate the sound of air blowers, whatever
I
they're
know.
called.
We know
We've
this.
talked
Leaf
about that.
blowers.
Leaf
Yes.
blowers.
Yes, they
So
anger.
that is what I can't do math. We're going on 7 hours of
Oy,
chainsaw
oy.
nonstop. But even worse, I did my usual, passive aggressive. I fly the door open and I storm out, ready to yell at someone, and then they don't stop doing it, so they can't hear me. And I'll be like, hello. They can't see me. So then nothing is done except me tapping my foot with my hands on my hip, glaring, waiting for them to feel my presence.
Uh-huh.
Because when the guy turned on the leaf blower after cutting down literally 10-foot thick of bramble, he
Uh-huh.
then took the leaf blower for the thousands of dead bougainvillea leaves that shook out of that mess
Oh, yes,
and
they're
blew it
messy.
all out onto the street.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
gonna be sneezing like crazy too.
Sneezing, I'm going to I don't I'm not even gonna say what I'm gonna do.
Now,
Okay.
let me ask you this. So obviously the guy's working. They were hired to do a job. There's nothing they can do
I
about it.
know.
What is it exactly you're gonna say to your neighbor?
For how inconsiderate they were to have chainsaws going for 7 hours on a Saturday while people work from home and some of us are actors and need to record things.
Do you think they're gonna care?
I don't, but he works in the industry. I've
Oh,
overheard him at one point.
okay.
He's not an actor, but he does work, I think he has
Uh-huh,
a higher up position. He's
uh-huh,
probably not going to care. He doesn't even look anyone else's way ever. The wife is always sweet. They have a baby. I always wave to them,
uh-huh,
meaning the wife and the baby. But I
uh-huh.
don't know. You know what? I probably won't do shit. I've just given up. But it's ruined my day. It
I
legit
know.
it's
I'm
not only
sorry.
annoying. Alan has the day off, so he was going mad. He left. I'm like,
Aw.
"Where are you going?" He goes, "I don't know. I can't listen to this anymore." I mean, it's
Oh,
so
bud.
loud.
Yeah.
And then I worked for most of the day, so
I
I had to hear
know.
it and
On
be
the
like, "Huddle."
phone.
Yes, like trying
Yes.
to cover my phone and be like, "Hello."
Oh, I'm sorry. I
Ay.
honestly wish you had called me. You could have come over here and done it.
Oh my god,
We
you're
could have
sweet.
holed you up in a room somewhere.
You're very sweet. There's
And
greater problems in life, but let me tell you know what?
no, but that can grate on you, so like, drive you crazy after a few hours for
I
sure.
know. Well, it seems like
Well,
that's my rant.
I think we both did rants.
I mean, that's my rant. I can't
This
get
is the
angrier than I
second
already
week in
am.
a row I have been like, I'm just going to talk for a minute and then been completely knocked out the other rant that was scheduled.
So what? Then we have it
Um,
for the next show. I like when that happens organically.
you do. I feel bad.
Why?
I don't know because
Nobody was like, "Well, I heard the rant was gonna be about leaf blowers part 2 and it wasn't.
well, I
So,
guess
I'm out."
you're right. You're right. But we do have some good rants lined up. That's why I'm like,
I guess I'll have to be for the next show because trust me,
yeah.
angry about both of those too.
Well, I'll tell you what. I know, so am I because I look at them. I'll tell you what.
Mhm.
I've got an offer for you, my friend.
Okay.
How would you like to join me in a rooftop hot tub at 6:30 this evening?
Yeah, I'm down.
Great, then we've got a deal. I know it was already solidified a day ago, but it feels good to say it again when you've had such a craptastic day, doesn't it?
Hilarious. It's true. The
You know what I'm
prosecco
bringing?
will be a flowing.
You want to know what I'm bringing?
Mm,
My short-sleeved swimsuit that I'm madly in love with and a
love it.
chilled bottle of prosecco.
That sounds delightful. I'll tell you, I will not be bringing or wearing a swimsuit, but I will be sitting poolside and enjoying you ladies frolicking while I.
Would you wear a t-shirt and shorts in the pool? It's just
No,
a
nah,
no,
no, no,
you don't
no, no.
like it?
Nope.
The only reason I get in the pool now, well, I'm really, really that's something else we can talk about for 2 seconds before we move into corners. Um, I really the last well, since Henry's been wanting to swim, right?
Mhm.
I've really made a it makes me gag effort to wear a swimsuit.
Ah,
Only because I don't have a lot of childhood memories of my mama swimming with me. I have
hmm.
millions of childhood memories of my mama going, "No, I'm not gonna be seen in public in a swimsuit." And
Oh,
I
she said that.
yes, uh-huh, and I don't want
Wow.
that to be my son's memory of me, and
Of course.
also, what I've realized since I've started doing it and I'll tell you how I got over that, what I've realized since I've started doing it is, like, how much fun I and actual
Yeah.
exercise, like, actual good exercise I don't realize I'm
Yes.
getting that I have missed, but, like, in the last couple of years or the last few years, I went to Cozumel with,
Mhm.
a friend to celebrate her graduation a few years ago, we just spent the entire time in our swimsuits, right?
Mhm.
I have gone to the lake with a friend. I've gone different things, right? A lot of our friends out here have pools because we live in
Mhm.
California. You want to know how I got over it, Jessica? I bought a swimsuit that was two-piece, but like a full shirt,
Mhm.
full length, but it's a skirt and top, and then this was before some genius decided that people might like to have sleeves on their swimsuits this in 2021. Thank you, whoever you were, but
Mhm.
I would take a cheap old t-shirt from Target or somewhere that was V-necked, and I would cut it up the middle like a cardigan,
Oh, wow.
one of those paper thin ones that when you buy it, you're like, "This is gonna last a year and
Mhm.
5 washings, I know it." Anyway, I would cut it up the middle, wear it like a cardigan, and tie it under my boobs so it wouldn't go anywhere. And that's how I started going, "Okay, I can do this."
Mhm.
And then 2021 rolled around and somebody started putting out swimsuits with short sleeves. And you think, "Oh, that's too heavy. I don't want that mess on my body," right?
Mhm.
But the thing is, it's made out of the same stuff, I guess, as like, well, not dive suits, but that kind of
Teflon or whatever.
wicking so that the
Neoprene, yes, like
yes,
wetsuits.
correct. So the water does not stay in the
Mhm.
swimsuit. Be
Awesome.
and so that's how I've been able so I guess my point is all of us that are like, I don't like swimming, and you know why,
I
and
love
I know why.
swimming. I used to be on a swim team.
And we got to get you a short sleeve swimsuit. You will be so
And
happy
I need
because
to find one before I go to Canada
we're
because
going
we're
to do
going
it.
to a lake at a
I'm going to,
cottage. And I
Jessica,
would like to be able to be in the water with my nieces.
you know where I got mine, Jessica? When I was back
Where?
home in Springfield at Walmart for $20.
Really?
Every other swimsuit I've ever bought that could hold my boobies up have been at least 60 to $100.
Yes, 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 yes.
$20 is my favorite swimsuit I ever owned.
Okay.
We're going to get it for you before you go.
All right.
We are,
I'm
because
down.
it is not fair to you to lose these fun memories.
Indeed.
So we're going to do it. Also, you can
Okay.
cut as much of this out as you want to. Should we move on to our corners?
Let's do it.
Because we have places to be and people to see.
Oh my God.
All right, who's up first? It says you are, but I don't know. I totally lambasted this entire outline, so I don't know. Also, people are like, "What outline? You guys are crazy. You just talk from the hip, don't you?" Well, apparently, a lot of times, yes.
You can go ahead then. Go for it.
Well, I have a what the what corner. This is from Jessica's favorite, the Mirror UK. It's written by Emma Rosemergy. She's actually an audience writer, you guys. That could be any one of us. If anybody's looking for a new gig, she's an audience writer. Does that mean anybody could do it? It doesn't matter.
I don't know. That's interesting.
Anyway, here we go. Cheap mom saves thousands by washing with snow and charging hubby for meals. Okay. Becky Giles goes to the extreme to save money for her family by making her husband and kids wash with snow, water, and cleaning dishes alongside clothes in the washing machine. That sounds unacceptable.
I don't understand even what that means, Dana.
Here we go. The self-confessed most frugal mom in the world. Is that a good accent? Has opened up about her money-saving ways, from washing her dishes in the washing machine alongside her clothes. That's not acceptable to me. There's soap made for human consumption, and that is not go in your laundry.
And what does she do? Throw a few plates in during the rinse cycle? I don't get it.
I don't either. I skimmed through this. I'm hoping there's more detail. Also, she brushes her teeth with snow. I'm sorry, you do not know how many things pee in that. What is wrong with you?
I can't.
Also, I was like, oh, she's probably like 70 something, right? There was a different time. And then the 41-year-old.
Excuse me.
Who lives with husband Jay, 39, and sons 7-year-old George and 4-year-old Colden. I mean, free George and Colden at least, right?
Oh,
get them out of there.
God.
She confesses she's always been pretty frugal, but she took saving money to the extreme when she decided to give up her 25,000-pound salary to be a stay-at-home mom. Quote, when I had my first son, George, I left my business because I wanted to stay home with him. I get that. So a lot of my philosophy is that saving money is the same thing as making money. Okay, I can understand that too. You're saving money because you quit your job, but the trade-off is you have more quality time for your kids to pee in the snow that you brush your teeth with. Got it. In the first year, wait, let's see. She explained, okay, in the first year, we ended up cutting our expenses so much that it made up for that income loss. Wonderful. Becky's money-saving efforts include doing any repair or decorating work herself. Got it. From using newspaper as insulation. Okay. To using wallpaper she found in a rubbish bin. I mean, that's all right. If it was vintage or whatever, you got to clean it. I'm sure she did. In fact, she even goes as far as refusing to pay for tap water. Okay. Instead, collecting snow from outside her home for her family to wash with. Snow water.
So also freezing, the perfect kind of bath that everybody dreams of.
Everybody loves. Water from the sink actually costs money. Down the street, we have this really pretty creek, which I would use, but it's frozen because it's freezing outside. But in addition to saving pennies for the whole family, Becky actually charges her husband for food if he eats more than her. So she knows she's getting her money's
What?
worth. Yes,
What?
Jay said, if we ordered, say, mozzarella sticks and there were four of them and I ate three, she ate one. It's like, hey, Jay, you're paying 75% for the mozzarella sticks. What?
I
Over the
cannot.
years, Becky has saved so much money, she's actually more than earned back her former wage, but it's fair to say that not everyone could live that lifestyle. Yeah, no.
I don't want to.
I don't want to either. And also, your boys, when they become teenagers, they're literally just walking feed bags. Like they need food constantly. You have to fill
Yes.
that bag up all day, every day. Are you going
Yep.
to charge them because they're growing boys?
This is an extreme.
The only reason, maybe this is too much information to share. I'm trying to decide because we all know I'm not myself. The only reason I take a long and good enough shower to get really clean is because it's warm and comfy. I
Yes.
I'm pretty positive if I had to bathe or shower in snow water, I might as well just be homeless. You probably don't want to sniff your through your nose around me if
I
I'm
would not
bathing
be
in snow.
bathing in snow water.
Uh-uh. Uh-uh.
Or eating off a plate that
Uh-uh.
someone's underwear was soaked in the same water with.
Thank
Okay?
you.
Blech.
Right? Blech.
Unacceptable.
Unacceptable. I mean, I just keep thinking of all these horrifically disgusting scenarios where I'm
Mhm.
like, the germ transference is
Yes.
immeasurable in that house.
Yep.
Now, her kids are going to have a major immune system. I'm sure they're going to be like cockroaches. And also, if you bathe in cold water all the time, you don't grow hair. So, but for boys, what do they care? No,
Okay.
no boy is going around going, "Oh, I wish I had soft, smooth legs."
Unless he's a
A
swimmer
swimmer, yeah.
or maybe a professional ballet dancer.
Also, can I just say how unfair that is? Dan Tipton has almost smooth legs these days from wearing socks because
Socks.
uh-huh.
Yes.
And I'm like, so us women just had to wear knee socks for the first 15 years of our lives and we would never have to shave again? Worth
Right?
it. Worth
Right.
it.
I
My grandma,
agree.
my
I
grandmama
hate
never
shaving my
shaved.
legs. I always
Me
have.
too.
Why? She's so fair. She doesn't even have to.
No, my grandmama, she's Hispanic, but her and her sisters, they used to bathe in the creek behind the house and it was so cold she never grew hair.
That's crazy.
Not a single hair on her.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Lucky. Lucky.
It is lucky, but also I don't want to bathe in a cold creek either.
No.
But that's why they say, whoever they are, people not me,
Oh my God.
say before you get out of the shower, try and splash cold water. It closes your pores.
Yeah, yeah.
It
You're
closes,
supposed to do that with your hair too
are you?
to seal the cuticle. I think I
Oh,
tried that like 3 times when my
that's not
hairdresser told me
sustainable.
that in my youth. And then I was like, you know what? I guess my hair is going to be open.
Yeah, not sustainable. After I've had a completely relaxing, even if I'm in a hurry, that heat, the
Mm-hmm.
steam, the eucalyptus I keep in my shower.
Right?
Come on. I'm like, I don't want to end it with a
Exactly.
anyway. What the what? Lady, go pay for some
Oh,
water and don't charge
God.
your husband for mozzarella sticks.
Also, I'm picturing because they're in England, right? So
Uh-huh.
even if they get a lot of snow, it's still summer there. Excuse me.
That's
Even
all
if they
right.
get a lot of snow, there's still summer there. So what is she doing? Like she collected all the snow she could into some outdoor
That's
barrels and
you're
rations the water
so
throughout the
you
year.
are so right. What are they doing the rest of the year?
I don't get it.
I
And
don't
it
either.
didn't say she only does this in the winter to say it's like,
It
no,
didn't.
she just lets
Well,
them
it
be.
did say there was a creek down the road she can go to, but in the winter it's frozen. So maybe she brushes her teeth with creek water during the and
No, I think
washes.
she reclaims her gray water and just keeps cycling through.
Oh,
No,
So gross.
ma'am.
So gross.
Oh my God. I cannot. Okay. This is a story that some people may have heard. It did make national news. This happened a few weeks ago, but I thought it was very interesting because it was kind of a more in depth explanation as to how this happened. So, did you guys know this is Animal Instincts Corner? Dana, I think you knew about this. Did you guys know that a man was swallowed by a whale and
Okay.
survived it to tell the tale?
That's I heard it immediately. I was super stoked. Then people started saying it's not real. I don't know where we stand now. Are you going to fix that for us?
Yes. And there
Okay.
was I mean, again, give me a corrections corner, but I saw multiple sites
Uh-huh.
with articles about this, all reliable sources,
Okay.
including the Cape Cod News,
Cuz there was
which is where it happened.
somebody was saying, "Oh, people were saying, "Oh, this is like the boy who was sent up in a weather balloon and the dad got
What?
famous off of it years ago." We'll save that for another episode. So,
Oh
I
my
do
God.
I want to hear all this. Yes.
Okay. It says this is from Len Lisenby. Okay.
Okay.
I receive all kinds of questions from readers in many states and 2 countries. And while some of those questions border on the absurd, like, did unicorns ever exist? Many others are well thought out and often involve great general subjects I have been involved with in the past. Here's something I would like to mention concerning Michael Packard's story about recently being swallowed by a humpback whale. The questions raised by that situation range from is it possible to how did he survive such an ordeal? And the answers to these questions might surprise you. First, it is certainly possible. The humpback whale is a baleen feeder. In other words, it has a complete system for catching tiny fish such as sardines and menhaden, along with other small and micro ocean organisms. The strips of baleen are tightly spaced together in order to filter in the smaller stuff while filtering out larger items such as big fish, critters such as seals and sea turtles, and scuba divers. The items that cannot be ingested and then digested are spat out with the same force of water as the smaller edible critters that are forced into the gut of the whale. Secondly, the humpback whale is essentially blind for the amount of time it takes to open and then close its mouth to inhale its chosen food. The mouth is very large all by itself, but it expands to even greater size for the several seconds it takes to engulf more of the food.
That sounds like
Virtually.
me.
Shut up. Virtually anything under approximately 10 feet large, which obviously includes scuba divers, can easily fit into that mouth. I mean, you
Whoa.
guys, humpback whales are huge. They're
Yeah.
my favorite animal on the planet, if I haven't already said that. Whenever we were asked those things as children or adults, even, what kind of animal would you be? My choice is always the humpback whale. They
I'm
are
not
my
sure I
favorite
knew
animal.
that. I'm
Yes.
sure you've mentioned it at some point that you like it.
Uh,
I didn't
I
know.
used to listen to humpback songs when I went to sleep for
That's
most of high school, in
so
fact.
adorably weird.
Uh-huh. I would put on, I'm not kidding you, I had a CD that was nothing but humpback whale
No.
recordings, and I would sleep to that.
Well,
Mhm.
I am always terrified that they're crying for their mommies, like, 'cause
I
but
know.
I don't judge sound stuff. I listened to a sound bath the other day on YouTube,
Mhm.
so anyway,
It's amazing.
so cool. Okay, keep going.
So it says, has a man ever been swallowed by a whale? A sperm whale swallowed a Cape Cod man off the Cape Verde Islands 150 years ago. Now, a sperm whale is the whale that Moby Dick looks like.
Okay,
All,
gotcha.
all massive. They're obviously even bigger than humpbacks.
Uh-huh.
So it says, lastly, humpbacks and most other baleen whales can feed at depth. That means if the food supply, usually a school of fish or shrimp, is swimming deep, the whale can engulf them, then spit out the unwanted larger parts as it swallows those fish. A scuba diver could easily end up as unwanted food and be ejected along with anything else that was too big to fit through the baleen that the whale took in a few minutes earlier. So the whole point of this is obviously Humpback whales are not predators. They eat krill, okay, like tiny shrimp and whatnot. They're not even eating seals or sea turtles, which
Right.
they
They're
could
not
probably
aggressive.
easily, maybe not easily, but they could definitely swallow. So the point is, it was accidental and therefore it spit it out. But it is kind of amazing that the guy was pushed through and
Where
lived
did
to
he
tell the
go through?
tale.
Did he go through the blowhole?
I don't think so. I think it spit. I think it opened its mouth and just like, you know,
Okay.
kind of yacked him right on out. I don't think he got too far, but he was talking about the sensation and just this pressure, obviously, from them
Right.
squeezing down with the mouth, right?
Right.
It's fascinating. He lived to tell the tale. There is a picture of him. He doesn't look too bad
Yeah, I
considering
saw
what he
him. He
went
doesn't
through,
look
but it's pretty fascinating. And I
I
will tell
can't
you,
fathom did he I feel like the first thing that
mhm,
I read, he also said he didn't realize what was happening.
yes,
Like,
it just was like sudden. He like did not know what was happening. I don't know why I just
so
tried to imitate what he looked like when he got
visually, I
pulled in,
enjoyed
but I
it. I
did.
enjoyed it. It looked like somebody electrocuted her if or
Oh
shocked
my
her, if you wanna know.
god.
But it's like, I my first thought was, did he see the whale coming? Because obviously they're so huge, but
Mm,
they're also very
mhm,
deep, I would think,
right.
and they probably come up for food, so I bet he had
Yes.
0 warning, right? He
It
just all of a
0
sudden was
warning.
like, "Am
Mhm.
I dead?" That's
Yep.
so crazy.
Also, if you have ever been to Cape Cod, you know this, and if you haven't, I recommend it be on a bucket list for any of you who have not been. It is such a spectacular place and so lovely, and there are humpback whale everywhere. My mom and I went on a whale watching boat
Oh,
years ago,
beautiful.
and oh my god, we saw so many, and humpback whales really love to kind of perform and put on a show,
That's what
and they
I've
come
heard.
flying. Yep, they fly out of the water and smash down and cause big splashes. They also have that quintessential whale tail that you so famously
Yes,
see all the
yes,
time.
yes.
They're pretty cool,
I
okay?
love
Yeah,
it.
they're pretty cool. So
I
anyways,
definitely
amazing miracle.
100% don't ever wanna be swallowed by one,
Absolutely not.
but would love to hear his stories.
Right?
It
For
'cause it
real.
reminds me of, uh I twist up things in my brain, but, like, Jonah and the whale, the Bible story whale,
Mhm,
I always heard
mhm,
growing up,
mhm.
and then, like, wasn't there a whale element to Pinocchio?
Yes!
Okay, so I'm
He
not
swallows
crazy.
Pinocchio. Pinocchio's on, like, a little
Thank you.
makeshift raft.
I
It's
had
part of the ride at Disney.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think I've ever been on the Pinocchio ride.
Oh
I think it
god,
was
in
broke down
Storybook
every time
Land.
I went. Yeah, every
Mhm.
time I went, I think it was broke down.
That you've gotta go.
Oh, I would love to. Uh, yeah, okay. Because I always think about that. I have such
He's swallowed
vivid
by a whale,
pictures,
by a
but I'm
sperm
like,
whale.
"Dana, are you mixing up Jonah and the Whale and
No,
Pinocchio? Because that's not cool."
you absolutely are correct.
Alright, well, there we go. He got Pinocchioed.
I love
As
Pinocchio. It has that adorable, beautiful little goldfish with the long eyelashes, and of course,
absolutely.
the fairy, I was gonna say Tinkerbell, it's not Tinkerbell, it's a fairy in a blue dress, Geppetto,
Beautiful.
the sweet
Yep.
old man, but
Sweet, sweet.
that movie does scare the sheet out of me, probably still
I
would if I watched it, when they
I
go to
haven't seen it
the
in so long.
well, remember there's, like,
The wolf
an
guy.
island. Yes, and this bad man, Stromboli is his name, and he, like,
Good
lures
grief,
in the
how do you
kids with
remember this?
candy. I don't know, but he
Oh,
lures in the kids with candy, and then he locks them in cages and turns them into donkeys.
that's right!
Mhm.
I completely blocked that.
Yep. Yeah, and rightfully so, it's scary.
I wonder if we have to find out if we can watch this together. It's
I
gotta be out
know.
there somewhere
I wonder if it's one of the I don't know if they have all the classics
on
on
Disney
Disney Plus,
Plus.
but they
Well,
might.
somebody named Powell's gonna be checking that out real quick.
M'kay.
Wow, that's amazing. I can't
Yes.
even imagine. Ooey, ooey.
Right?
Okay. All right. Well, I think that's it. I think we're ready for our raves.
I think we are. Hey, you know what? Just
What?
for posterity's sake, we totally glazed over our cleansing breath. So let's take one before the rave.
Oh my God, you're right.
I can't
I
believe
mean,
it.
if you were so inclined, we can pretend like we didn't and you can cut it in there. But if you don't want to, you can let everyone hear me say this so that they know
Mhm.
that we try to avoid work as much as possible.
I don't
So
think I know how to splice.
I do, and I don't have the desire to. So here we go, guys. Late cleansing breath. The only reason I don't is because all that's on my mind is that hot tub on the roof.
Okay.
All right, but I would love a cleansing breath.
Let's do it.
And you know what? This is a good time to do it anyway because we got
Mhm.
silly giggles and scared Pinocchio stories. We like to we like to take a deep breath and blow out all the bad and fill up with the goodness, which is our raves. That's the thing we're
Mhm.
most proud of in our show. So if you can scream it out, do it because it feels real good. If you can't, just take a
Mhm.
breath with us real quick. Okay. Take a deep breath in and
Could take about 40 more of those now that I hear that chainsaw again.
I heard a doggy. Is
Oh
there a doggy?
yeah. Just
Yeah.
never ending here. I
Oh,
literally feel like I live in Jurassic Park.
oh my. Minus less than an hour and a half to Prosecco time. So don't stress it.
Hilarious.
Um, all right. I'm up first for raves, right?
Sure.
Or are you?
Just do it.
Just do it. This is from a listener, okay?
Mhm.
And it was from a listener who also um sent another rave, I think, but
Never
I
mind.
have
That was our
yeah,
rave from today.
I've messed up all of the outlines for the past month, so there's no way of telling. Jessica put so much work into all of this, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm not gonna do it." Sorry, Jess.
Oh my
Just so you
god.
guys know, I am of value. There was a time when I did all this for a long time, and happily so, and Jessica has kindly taken over in my times of insanity. So I promise
Indeed.
I'm not just an albatross around her neck, I
And
promise.
this is the weirdest reference ever.
Is it? That's a saying.
I did never heard it. I love it.
Like a weight around your neck, an albatross? You've never heard
Oh
that?
my god.
I now I have to make sure I'm doing it right. Because I know it is a bird too, right?
Yes.
Oh god, a very large oceanic bird. But there is another
I mean, and here we are back to Disney, and Albatross is what saves Bernard and Bianca and Bernard and the rescuers. And
oh,
his little
you're right.
cabin that they sit in is a sardine tin. And that's how they
Yep,
fasten themselves in. They twist the little key and pull
it's
the
so cute.
sardine.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Okay, I just want to point out real quick because I have concerns about my sanity these days. I am correct in some way. Merriam-Webster says that that it is a bird for sure, a large
Yes.
web-footed seabird, but it
Yes.
also is something that causes persistent deep concern or anxiety, something that greatly hinders accomplishment and
What?
encumbrance.
I've
Yes.
never heard that as a
Mhm.
saying.
So the example is
Wow.
fame has become an albatross that prevents her from leading and I would rewrite this. Dana might be an albatross that prevents Jessica from leading a normal life.
You maniac. Oh my god. That is
Okay.
not true at all, but that is absolutely hilarious.
Okay. My rave.
Yes,
Here we go.
ma'am.
This is related to a rant, but this is definitely a rave and a little self promoting as well. As I said in my rant, which we have completely botched that, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so this person says, we foster bottle feeding kittens, and young cats. For my shameless plug, y'all can follow our fostergram. Oh, yay. This is the information because this is the
Mm-hmm.
rant I have that I keep bulldozing through. I'm
You got
sorry.
it.
So
Mm-mm.
it's coming, y'all. It's about animals. You know me. I love it. Okay, so y'all can follow our fostergram at Miles of Fosters. So let me spell it at MILESOFFOSTERS to see the fosters we have and their adorableness, along with our link to ways for helping us with these kittens. Oh, I can't wait. We know rescues have a difficult time money wise, so we pay for 95% of our supplies and it can get expensive. Wow, wow, wow.
Mm-hmm.
I love the rescue community. Those
Oh
people,
no.
I mean, they do. Basically, if you think about it, they're doing sales, they're doing
Yeah.
charity, they're giving 24/7. I just love them. They're kind of they're made of something different than I am,
Mm.
and it's so admirable. The rescue community, for the most part, is incredible. But my specific rave is about one of the rescues I foster for, Nuzzles and Co. in Park City, Utah. They support their fosters 100%. They have their own in house vets at the ranch who are incredibly nice,
Wow.
and willing to teach you anything you need to better care for the animals you foster. They also have a great location and really try to use volunteers and fundraising like a normal nonprofit to ensure that all the donations and such go to the care of the animals. They also make bi-monthly trips to the Native American Indian reservation south of us, which is about a 6 to 7 hour drive, providing spay and neuter clinics, often for free,
Mm.
and will take community animals or sick and abandoned animals back to the ranch in Park City to help them heal, get to a foster, and get ready for adoption if that's what's best for the animal. Good Lord, these people are
Mm-hmm.
angels. Sometimes there are animals that just don't want to be pets and do best as community animals. I know that's true because one lives in my house and
Oh
she
my
does not
God.
want to live in my house because all she does is hurt us and our things. Cutter. Oh, this is perfect. This is definitely common with cats more than dogs, but it but it does occasionally happen with dogs as well. They also help these community animals by fixing them, vaccinating them, and finding a safe place for them to be with a caretaker that is happy to allow them on the land. I love it. All around this rescue is such a fantastic one to adopt from, where we got our very first kitty before we got married. Oh, that's so cute. Foster for and work with. Donations are always welcome there, but so does spreading the word. Uh huh. Yes. So more people know that most rescues like Nuzzles take excellent care of their animals and honestly want what is best for them. You're
Hmm.
welcome to say my name on both of these. I'm sorry if they're long. No way. Don't ever apologize. I just got to my breaking point and I had to share. Lots of appreciation for both of you, Sarah M. Sarah M, we have not done your rant yet because I can't shut my mouth. But it is top of the list for next week.
We'll do
But
it
I'm
next week.
yes, but I want to say what you can follow Sarah M's Fostergram at Miles of Fosters on Instagram. So check them out. And I just
Mm-hmm.
want to say this place sounds like a place I want to live.
Okay.
Nuzzles and Co. That's what she said, right?
Yep.
Donations
It's
are
also
welcome.
amazing that they have an on site vet because a friend of mine who's heavily involved in dog rescue,
That
particularly all over California and now in Mexico, she's helping build a shelter in Tijuana for a woman that has now dedicated her life to abandoned and severely injured and abused street dogs. And she's taking them
oh,
in. So they're building her a shelter and it's
oh,
crazy. But my point is, even when she gets the dogs, whether they're from Mexico or anywhere in the California area, they have a vet that they work with
right.
who gives them a discounted rate. I
I'm
think
sure.
also
Yeah.
probably throws in plenty of stuff for free out of the goodness of their own heart. But veterinarians are doctors for animals. I know, just like doctors, want to help any and everybody they can,
Yes,
but they
they
can't
do.
just be going around and doing everything for free, or they wouldn't
Mhm.
make a living, right?
Right.
That's why donation is so imperative to any kind of rescue, and also the volunteers and their hours, just people putting in the time, transporting the animals, uh, collecting donations for food, because my friend also reaches out to companies and sometimes they're like, hey, we can give you 100 pounds of dog food that's going to expire in 3 months, so we need to
Mhm.
get it out of our warehouse, right? It's
Right.
amazing. So thank you for sending in such an important cause.
Oh my
One
god,
day I
yes.
hope people will learn.
I know, and especially we'll talk about it another time, the spaying and neutering, that's big, that's part of the rant,
Yes.
it's just and I know it is hard in some places, it's expensive,
Mhm.
and, some people don't have the money for it. We can if you are a person that needs that service or there's some stray animals in your send us a message, we will find a rescue in your
Mhm.
area because I probably follow them on Instagram. I mean,
Yes.
I follow so many rescues, it's insane. But I also love the way that like self promotion and plug, great, do it. We're happy to do. We want to do this for you guys.
Yes.
We want to find out all the good things and hear about all the good things you're doing. So that's wonderful. But the fact that this just shows the kind of person that she is. Donations
Mhm.
are always welcome there. But also what makes a difference is spreading the word so more
Indeed.
people know. We say that all the time.
That's
So
right.
we want to tell you through Sarah M. Nuzzles and Co. They take excellent care of their animals and honestly want what's best for them.
Indeed.
Nuzzles and Co. Look them up, guys. Park City, Utah. And if you live in not an area close to that and don't know of any in your area, hit us up. We'll find one
Indeed.
for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. My rave this week is a company that I actually have been supporting for a long time just because they happen to be at my local farmers market. So it was easy when you see something
I
you like and then you're like, hey, do you know them?
They're pretty cool. I know a couple people that have volunteered with them before.
Yes. So
Get
this
to it.
rave is for Homeboy Industries. Their website
Yeah.
is HOMEBOYINDUSTRIES.org. In 1986, when Homeboy Industries founder Gregory Boyle became pastor of the Dolores Mission Church, it was the poorest Catholic parish in Los Angeles. The parish included Aliso Village and Pico Gardens, then the largest public housing projects west of the Mississippi. They also had the highest concentration of gang activity. That was saying something given the Los Angeles reputation as the gang capital of the world. At the time, law enforcement tactics of suppression and criminal justice policies of mass incarceration were the prevailing means to deal with gang violence. But where others only saw criminals, Father Greg saw people in need of help. Today, Homeboy Industries is the largest gang intervention,
Mhm.
rehabilitation, and re entry program in the world,
Yes.
welcoming thousands through our doors each year. What began in 1988 as a way of improving the lives of former gang members in East Los Angeles has evolved into the largest gang intervention, rehab, and reentry program in the world. Each year, we welcome thousands of people through our doors seeking to transform their lives. Whether joining our 18-month employment and reentry program or
Mhm.
seeking discreet services such as tattoo removal or substance abuse resources, our clients are embraced by a community of kinship and offered a variety of free wraparound services to facilitate healing and growth. In
Wow.
addition to serving almost 7,000 members of the immediate Los Angeles community in 2018, our flagship 18-month employment and reentry program was offered to over 400 men and women. So, the reason that I found out about Homeboy Bakery, and we're going to post links to both of this. I just said Homeboy Bakery, Homeboy Industries. That was a Freudian slip because their baked
They do
goods are
have a
so good.
bakery. Yes.
So, the amazing program that they're talking about, their employment and reentry program, they
Mhm.
have a bakery and they set up at farmers markets all over LA County.
Yeah.
Their bread is outstanding. They
If I'm
make
not mistaken, don't they actually have like a full cafe downtown?
they might.
I think they do. They
I'm
used
actually
to, but
unsure, but I would not be surprised if they do. Um, the bread is insane. They also
mm,
make a real mean chocolate chip cookie about the size of your face.
love it.
And they also, at least they're famous to me for this, do a rainbow loaf where you cut
They
into the
do?
bread.
Yes,
Yes,
yes. I did
it's
not know that.
it's fantastic. So this is going to a very important cause. And
Yeah,
I don't know if you're like me, Dana loves true crime.
yeah.
I do, but in a different way. I'm probably more obsessed with the actual prisoners.
Uh-huh.
And I watch a lot of shows about
So
prison. Is
do
this
I.
making me sound crazy?
No, I
I
watch them
all
all.
right. Like one time Alan and I took a 6 hour flight and he turned and looked at me and I'm like, what? He goes, you just watched Lockdown
Yeah,
for the last 6 hours. He goes, you
yeah.
didn't blink. You didn't get up out of your chair. You didn't change the channel. I don't know if you even took a breath.
You know what? This is why we're friends, Jessica.
I'm
Birds of a
telling you,
feather. Birds.
it
You know,
flew by.
it is just such a drastic difference from what my life is and what I've ever been around. And I really have this desire to understand and to
Yes.
see what led them there. Uh,
That,
what
yep,
led them there? Could it have been prevented? Are they there for the right reasons?
sure.
All of that, it just, and the one thing I wanted to say about Homeboy Industries is I watched a documentary about them one time, and I don't remember if it
Hmm.
was something somebody here made or I found on YouTube. I don't know what it was, but
Hmm.
um, and I have a buddy that also has worked with them. The
Hmm.
rehab and reentry program is
So
amazing.
amazing.
They
Yep.
train them, they give them skills, they teach if they wanna be chefs, they have a whole chef
Yes.
training, like and, if they wanna have their tattoos removed, they help them with that because that's very expensive.
Yep.
It's getting more and more common and easier now with lasers. I don't know if you've
Hmm.
noticed that lately, but they are able to do it fairly
Hmm.
painlessly now,
It's
but
crazy.
it's expensive. They
Yep.
help them with this. They give them a skill to go out. They set them up. They don't set them up for failure. They set
Right.
them up for success.
Correct.
And that is something that I think in the past has been lacking. And I think Homeboy Industries is one of the first that was like, we are going to make sure we do everything we can to keep you on the straight and narrow and
Yes.
progress in your life, your
Yep.
rehab, in your reentry. That's literally its reentry into society because you
Totally.
and I know from all our prison show watching, that is a different world.
It is. And also, a lot of the time, people, and again, do I know there are some people, sadly, who are repeat offenders and who,
Yes.
A, don't learn a lesson
Some
or
people you
have
can't.
no desire to change.
I don't
But
think
I also,
rehabilitation it can be for everyone. I really don't.
right. But for
Maybe
those
I'm
who
wrong.
want to change
Yes.
and who in their life has not made a mistake, I mean, look, some are greater than
Exactly.
others, but we've all done things we regret or wish we
Correct.
didn't do.
Right.
Nobody is a saint.
No.
Um, but it's critical for people to have a viable skill when they leave and to be encouraged to know, hey, your life doesn't have to be over, to
Right.
prevent them from going out committing more crime or going back to a gang. A lot of people that end up in gangs are because they're from broken homes
Yes.
or they're in, again, usually in poverty stricken areas where people go, hey,
They're
you can
alone.
make a lot of
They
money
need
with
some
us.
money. Mhm.
Or you start treating people like friends and your
Yeah.
homie and whatever. And now we're your family. I mean, it's a whole talk about the psychology of what leads them there. I get it.
Yeah.
But for those who want to get out, like I
Right.
cry every time I see some of these old school dudes that are in prison serving life. They
Yeah.
could tell the world to F off. They could sit alone in their cell all day. They could have tried to take their own life. The fact that these people are like, please don't do what I did,
Yeah.
and are trying to help youth or people, other inmates to get rehabilitated and not do this again. It's a really critical thing for our society. And
It
we
is.
all
And
know this country has, I think, the largest incarceration rate in the
yes.
world.
Yeah.
Also, it's not
Mhm.
okay.
Well, and listen, this is also not me saying there aren't some people who just cannot be let out.
Correct.
I do know that. I do
100%.
absolutely recognize that. But I also just watched a documentary the other night about the way that the laws were at the times that the documentary was following some specific women.
Mhm.
They were incarcerated for killing their husbands or boyfriend or whatever. It
Mhm.
was domestic violence situation.
Yep.
And some of them, their cases were more circumstantial at the time than anything,
Mhm. Mhm.
and they were told they were whores and all these things. There was
Yep.
just so much. You're not sure how much just legal justice was done, and the way
Right.
the laws were made back then, there was no coming back and getting people who were sentenced to prison for life with no parole. That has never changed, and the laws were
Right.
much more stringent back then. And on these women, on women specifically, women killers,
Mhm.
that has never changed. And so now you've got like 70 and 80-year-old women who, a lot of these women have proven over the years they're involved in rehab groups and things in the prisons, and they've never had a shot at getting out. And they're
Right.
75 years old and couldn't hurt anybody if they wanted to.
Right.
And they have families still living that they want
Yep.
to know. Those
Mhm.
are the things that I just breaks my heart.
Absolutely.
And those people, rehab is possible for them, you know?
Indeed.
I mean, I have a friend in my life that was involved in gangs when he was
Mhm.
young, and the normal route to get there wasn't there. Like, it was all just insane, and
Right.
he experienced some crazy stuff, and he is
Sure.
one of the kindest, most giving, generous, loving,
Mhm.
wonderful human beings I know.
Oh,
Now,
right.
right? He
Yes.
rehab was possible for him,
Mhm.
and luckily he didn't fall into that vicious prison cycle,
Exactly.
but he easily could have.
Mhm.
I love Homeboy Industries.
No, it's great.
I think they're the first ones that saw that that was a necessity
Yes.
to keep that cycle from happening to every single person that walks through prison doors.
Totally.
Yeah. Beautiful.
It
Thank you
gives
for
someone a
sharing.
reason to start anew and to
Yes.
keep living,
Mhm.
right?
Something to look forward to and a purpose.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, thank you,
Jessica.
Pastor Greg, and thank you, Homeboy Industries, and thank
Uh,
you, Dana.
Thank you, Jessica. I think that's our show.
I think it is.
I can't believe we made it through.
I
We
know.
and relatively in good time, but it's only because we skipped all our rants and just made up new ones, I guess. Whatever. We'll be back again next week with more stuff to say.
We will.
Jessica, you wanted to remind everyone real quick how to get a hold of us because we always
Yep.
need it.
Facebook and Instagram at the Rants and Raves podcast. Twitter at raves_the, email us at the rants and raves podcast at gmail.com, or go to our website, hit the contact button, www.therantsandravespodcast.com.
Yay! I usually like to end the show with things I'm watching, things Jessica's watching. Are you into anything interesting right now?
I just ended Shrill, which I believe was the end of the whole series. I just finished season 3.
Oh, um,
80
A.
Bryant.
Bryant and Lucas, our friend Lucas on there. I haven't watched it yet. Is it good?
I love it. I
Aw.
have mixed feelings about the ending of it, but
Oh, because it was the series finale, right?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I loved the first half of the season, and then it got kind of wonky, but then I also kind of get it. Anyways, I don't want to give any spoiler alerts. You should
No,
watch it.
don't. Don't. Yeah, I
And
will
I
watch
love
it.
her, and I love whoever styles her for the show, because she wears similar stuff when I see her out and about, and even like
Uh-huh.
what she wore when she got married and everything. I love her style, and whoever styles her, in my wildest dreams, I should be so lucky to have someone pick any of those outfits for me.
No kidding.
I
Yeah.
can't explain to you how cute her clothes are. And I'm like, oh, somebody who's dressing someone as a person and who's cute, instead of just treating it like plus size and there can't
Moo
be any
moo.
fashion for that.
Right.
It's
Floral moo
ridiculous.
moo.
She looks like
Ugh.
$1,000,000 in every episode. I love it, and I
Aw.
really love her. I think she's very, very comfortable as a person in her own skin, and that really comes out in her character and on the show, and so I was really drawn to it. I love it.
That's amazing.
Mhm. Oh,
Alright.
and well, no, I'll
What?
save that for another. No, 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 no. Go on. Moving
Really?
along.
Are you
Yes, yes, moving along.
okay. I just caught up on some of my podcasts. It was really fun. They're all usually scary-ish. Um, but I do love my happiness lab and all that.
Mhm.
I have a book I'm getting ready to start, and when I say that, I mean listen to. Time Traveler's Guide. This might be something that your husband and I would enjoy together. The Time
Okay.
Traveler's Guide to Medieval England. Just
Oh,
something to
he would
pass the
love
time.
it. Are you
And just
kidding? He would love it.
Well, because I just listened to the last podcast on the left did a 4
Mhm.
or 5-part series on the Black Plague, and it was
Mm.
absolutely fascinating, and they mentioned that was one of the books that they used as a
Oh, wow.
resource, and I was like, I got to. I just have to learn in case I
Right?
ever need to build a castle, like, I just need to know, right?
Mhm.
But then some of the interesting things, and actually I'll leave this as your point to ponder, because sorry to say it, y'all, but we're in the middle of a pandemic. This variant is getting stronger and stronger. Get thee behind me, Satan. But anyway, one of the fascinating things they were talking about, when the Black Plague happened, France and Britain were, at odds, at war, whatever, and they
Mhm.
would take the spoils of their war, the British, and the
Oh.
women would be seen in French furs, and the homes were decorated in French decor, like curtains,
Mhm.
absolutely infested with plague-ridden dust fleas.
Oh.
Uh-huh, and then the flatulence who would go you know what that is? Not farts. The
No.
people the the the
The
very,
plague doctors?
very stringent Catholic believers that if you flatulate, beat yourself, and they had these whips that would stick into their skin.
Flagellation, not flatulation.
Correct, yes.
I am dead.
Did I say it wrong?
You said
Flatulation.
flatulate like farting.
I said not farts.
I know.
Flatulate. Flatulate. I maybe say it bad too. Anyway, those
They
people.
flog themselves.
Correct, and they would do parades from town to town, like hundreds of them, which they realized later they were actually like murderers, thieves, and robbers under the guise of the Roman Catholic Church. But
Oh
anyway,
my
they
god.
would go from town to town and do this as, what is it? To God, symbolism to God, please help us, save us, whatever.
Mhm,
And then
mhm.
the people in the towns would come out with their rags, like you would put holy water or something on, and dip it in the blood and then wipe it on their faces. And they were just carrying plague town to town, and people were
What?
scooping their blood and just wiping it on their plague on their faces.
No.
Isn't that insanity?
That's
And then
disgusting.
also that when bloodletting was a thing,
Mhm.
and so when people would start to get sick, they would drain their blood, and then they just dumped it in the streets, and the rats fed off of it.
Oh, dear God.
So, Time Traveler's Guide to Medieval England if you want more. Anyway, my point is, think about that this week, and let's say how lucky we are when we come back next. Jessica, I love you.
I love you too.
Ooh, wow, what a wild ride. You're
Wow,
welcome.
we
Make sure to grab your backpack on the way out. We'll see you next Tuesday.
and make sure to send in all of your rants, raves, and everything in between.
What is happening to us?
I don't know.
Let's just go to the roof.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Bye.